And welcome back to the Junior B Breakdown. It's episode 5. And after what felt like a cross-country odyssey to Lloydminster last Friday, we finally made it. The Lea Park Bridge was closed, so our quick trip turned into a scenic drive all the way to Highway 17.
Yeah, by the time we rolled into the Cenovus Energy Hub, I think we crossed more range roads than the total shots on net in that first period.
No, it was worth it, though. We got to see the Cold Lake Ice take on the Lloydminster Bandits, and it was a great night of hockey.
Great night of hockey and a great barn. We got some fantastic interviews from after that game. We sat down with Bandits head coach Josh Dudding and later caught up with assistant captain Kade Dennett, who gave us some insight into what's driving that hot Bandits bench this season.
And because we can't just talk hockey without tasting the menus, we're debuting our new food review segment, Concession Confessions, where Chet and I rate the best and the most questionable eats from around the league.
Yeah, let's just say, Dwayne, that a few of those items definitely deserve to be in the penalty box.
And all that, plus around the league recap, and check out all the action from another busy week.
Episode 5 starts right now. Let's drop the puck.
So I'm Dwayne Lotzhammer. I'm down here at the Cenovus Energy Hub, brand new building, beautiful building with Coach Josh Dudding. Just some background about yourself, kind of where you got your start, where's hometown for you?
Yeah, hometown, Lloydminster, born and bred. I spent actually the first 5 years of my life up in Yellowknife and Iqaluit in Northwest Territories. None of it now, I guess. I got my start in coaching actually I got an invitation from a gentleman that I used to play hockey with, Lenny Young, who was an assistant coach 4 years ago, and then Jason Ross, who actually used to coach me in senior. So my last game of senior hockey, ended up taking a slap shot to the ribs and a DJ King stick across the side of my face that broke a nose and a pretty nasty concussion. So it was voluntold for me that that might be it, and a few bad concussions and stuff like that. So told them that I wasn't going to play the next season, and got the invitation. Their defensive coach had left, so they wanted to fill a role. So I wasn't ready to be done with hockey just yet. Missed the room, missed the guys, so stepped in, and I've been hooked on it ever since.
Nice. And how many years have you been with the Bandits?
Going on 4 now. So first 2 seasons was assistant coach, and then last 2 is the head coach. So for me, the guys, I call them the 04 group. So Shea Stewart, Jaden Plamondon, Joel Webb, and Kade Dennett. I started their first year.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, Dennett actually mentioned, that he's been here 4 years, and, he's seen quite a difference in the change of the league. Have you seen much change in the league in the last 4 years?
For sure. My first year, I would say the best 2 teams probably playing was St. Paul and Wainwright, of course. I think now you're seeing on any given night, if you don't show up, you're going to get beat, which is great for this league. You still have your Wainwrights. I mean, you got to give them all the credit in the world. They've won the league eight straight years. So they're always going to be tough. But when you go into the Kilms, the St. Paul's, the Vegs, there's no sleeper team. Yeah. So it's great, and it's a great message for the guys, for the team, that there's no easy nights.
No, for sure. Looking at the standings and stuff like that, the top 3 even are within 2 points of each other, I believe now. I think you guys are going to step into first after tonight's win, or a tie for first, just because games in hand and stuff like that. With that being said, good preseason tournament held by the league. What were your thoughts going into that and coming out of that? What did you find, or did you see coming out of that tournament?
Yeah, it was proposed actually at the league meeting. They brought up, normally for the league this year, we decided to start the season a week earlier, ended a week later. So the league decision was actually brought up by Vermilion. Hey, let's host a preseason tournament. We'll have it 1 week, play a couple games each, and then start the next week. So us here in Lloyd, we were behind it right off the hop. I love the idea. I would say that my only, not even an issue with it, for us was it just happened to be the timing with Morgan Wallen being in Edmonton. I think we had 7 or 8 guys miss the first night, 8 or 9 guys miss the second night. But no, as far as a hockey tournament or preseason tournament, if we want to call it, it was ran super well. Everything ran smooth. Everyone got their opportunities. So I look forward to maybe us hosting it or Cold Lake hosting it down the road. Or if it stays in Vermilion, we hope it stays.
Yeah, no, talking with the president there a couple weeks ago, he was enthusiastic about it staying as kind of a mainstay to kick off the tournament. And he was just saying possibly staying in Vermilion, but, the chance for, especially in the barn that you guys have now to play in, this would be an awesome venue for to play it in. So you said missing players the first night and the second night. That probably gave you an opportunity to see some players, see if they were really ready for this next jump.
Yeah, for us going into, everyone has a chance to play, guys just coming into the league or guys, coming out for a spot. Maybe they're coming back from senior or they're just wanting to get back into junior. So it was a great opportunity to see those players for us. Last season, we were super veteran team. We had I think 15, I call them 04s, going down to the 4 this year. So we got 15 new faces. So for us going in and playing those 2 games was instrumental to see, not only, who you're going to keep and stay on the roster, but finding some line matchups, finding some early chemistry so that going into that first game of the season, it's not kind of shotgun approach and let's see what works. But
no, for sure. We also talked with Coach Scott Hood from Cold Lake. He was saying how this year there was such an influx of players that came out to their camp. I think 40 plus. He said, did you guys have a large number for your turnout?
Yeah, for camp we ended up having 42 guys. In I guess my experience with the Bandits, we've been probably high 20s, low 30s on average. So it was great to see. We had some new faces that are coming to school that shot us a text and a message, and it was awesome. It really helps at the end of the day scouting in junior B. Whether it's hard to say, hey, come to Lloydminster, come to Cold Lake, So a lot of it is guys want to come. So it was nice for us to see, guys choosing Lloyd as a destination. Us hosting provincials probably helps a little bit too in the new arena, but it brought more life. It brought more life into training camp as well. More compete. Selfishly myself, when you have 28 or 30 guys, it's tough. So it was refreshing this year.
No, for sure. And like I said, we were able to attend the game tonight. Hard fought battle by both teams. Shots on goal pretty much equal. I think they were different by maybe 4 or 5, but you guys come out on top. 5-2 win. Putting you guys at 6-0. I know the season's early. We're only 6 games into a 32 game season, but what do you see going forward for this team?
I would say, start our first 6 games. We started really hot. Obviously going 6-0. We had the defending champs back to back as an opener. So that was right into the fire. But we've been building on little things, finding some chemistry, finding some lines that work, finding some power play units that we can tweak and put together, having some success. So for us, it's all about, for me, it's all about the next day. You can be 6-0 and that's great. But if, our next game's Sunday in Wainwright, so those guys know in that room, you don't show up, you will not be 7-0. So it's getting better every day and just having fun as a group.
Oh, for sure. Anybody really standing out as a leader in the dressing room, or I know you say you got 4 veterans and the rest are all kind of new faces, or is there some of that new faces that are, stepping up and taking leadership roles?
Yeah, for sure. I guess to start the season, we had, I guess, the 3 guys that wore letters for us last year, Joel being the captain, Jaden being an assistant, Kade being assistant. This is Corbin's 2nd season with us, Corbin Stewart. He's earned his opportunity to wear that leather with just the way he plays. Honest to God, he played every position but goalie for us last year. So, but yeah, we had some some great finds in guys like Hayden Hyde, who had some junior A experience, decided that wanted to come home and play for the hometown team. And I mean, he's been rock solid for us in that net, which is awesome to see. A guy like Cash Parkin, who can lead this league in points with his skill, with his shot. And then, another guy like Carson Pope, I see him as a defensive specialist. He sees lots of PK time. And every new guy that we've had come in has filled a role, has played big minutes in certain ways. So we're very fortunate in the guys we've had come in.
No, for sure. Outside of hockey, what do you do?
So I spend work here at Ford as a sales and finance guy. So there's a lot of hours put into that. But for me, it's spending time with family, spending time out at the Weiss family farm. I love to golf. I wish I got to golf a little bit more, a little bit worse than I used to be, I'd say. But I use golf and I would say slow pitch probably as some time away and some time to blow off steam, have a couple cold beers and enjoy the summer.
No, for sure. Just watch out. Chet might be hitting you up there for a deal on a truck. But, just a quick question. If you had to go to the concession to get yourself a burger, a poutine, what's your go-to?
For me, it's always fries. Fries with vinegar on it. I don't know when that started or how that started, but that's my go-to. And I'd say my branch out's been throwing some pepper on there. So
right down Chet's alley there. He just likes to put the old cheese curds on top and melt the gravy. But Coach, appreciate your time here. Best luck in the season coming up, and hope to catch up with you again when you get to Cold Lake.
No, for sure. Thank you guys for coming down and doing it. I know everyone's excited. Everyone's listening, and it'll be awesome as the season goes. And I will definitely shoot you a message when we're coming down.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Coach.
Great chatting with Coach Dudding. You can really hear the focus and direction he's bringing to that Bandits bench this season.
Up next, we're talking with Bandits assistant captain Kade Dennett about leadership, rivalries, and what it means to wear the A.
All right, so we're here with Kade Dennett, the assistant captain for the Lloydminster Bandits. Kade, welcome.
Hi.
You're the assistant captain this year. What year of junior B are you in?
This will be my 4th year.
Okay, and where kind of did you get your start in hockey? Did you, was it around Lloyd, or is your hometown Lloyd, or where did you get your start?
I started my minor hockey in Kit Scotty up until PUE my first year, and then I moved to Lloyd, and it's been here ever since.
Okay, nice. Being a 4th year player, you've been around the league quite a bit. What are some of the things you've seen in the league that have changed over the last 4 years?
Just kind of the teams, how it's kind of been built. The first year there was a bit stronger teams that are a bit weaker now, and it's more skill than it was fighting my first year, kind of seemed like. So it's more fast paced and fun to play.
You guys played in a big tournament kind of at the beginning of the year. You kind of got your feelers out to see what the other teams had coming to the ice. What did you kind of take away from that, seeing what was there to where you guys are now?
It was kind of hard to base it off that. We were still missing quite a lot of our team in that tournament, and then come to the season, looked really good after our first week against Wainwright, going with back-to-back wins, and then ever since then it's been uphill.
No, for sure. We were able to catch this game today. I believe it was 5-2 win over the Cold Lake Ice, putting you guys at 6-0 on the year. Yeah. So do you have a rookie player that you kind of are shadowing, making sure that he's getting familiar with the junior B?
Well, we have rookies and vets, and Cash is my rookie, so he's kind of...
Nice. So, yeah, we actually able to talk to Cash earlier, right? So it was interesting. So looking at what you guys have on the ice, it looks like a really good team. What are you guys looking forward to for the rest of the year?
Kind of go first place and win the league, and hopefully win provincial as well, as we're hosting that. So
other than that, so what, just a pregame meal, what's kind of your pregame ritual you go through?
Well, I kind of get a sub about a few hours before, eat that, and then hang out and shower and come here.
Anything to do with food? Chet loves food. So what's your sub?
Ham, cheese, lettuce, cucumbers, green peppers, mayo, pepper, a Gatorade, and 2 cookies.
Nice. Are we going brown bread or white bread?
The Italian herbs and cheese.
So a little cheese in there, right? So, okay. Other than that, like pre-game stuff like that, how often or how soon do you get to the rink before game starts?
Kind of depends how I'm feeling. Usually an hour and a half, and then warm up and kind of just hang out with the boys.
Some of your teammates, you've been around them probably for 4 years, I'm assuming. Probably great bonds. Any guys that are kind of following through for, their kind of last few years that, are putting a good effort out there that you're noticing that, are contributing to where you guys are at this year?
There's a lot. Hayden, goalie, he's been a really huge part to our team this year with how good he's been playing. Wildy, Joel, Jaden, kind of everybody's been putting in their effort, and it's been really good. Got a new deep partner this year, Tyson. He's been a really big help. It's nice to have a right-handed defenseman, and then it's been a lot of fun. We picked up a lot of solid players. Nice.
Yeah, we're getting ready for, like you said, you guys are hosting provincials. So that kind of building towards that, trying to, hone those skills in. You guys played a phenomenal game tonight. Appreciate your time, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Dwayne, that's great stuff from your interview with Kade Dennett. Confident, he's humble, and clearly one of the guys that leads by example.
Big thanks to Kade for joining us on the road.
All right, folks, it's time for something a little different. Welcome to our brand new segment, Concession Confessions. Say that 10 times fast, where Dwayne and I put our taste buds on the line for the good of the fans.
That's right. We travel to rinks, we watch the games, and we do a real investigative journalism, figuring out which arena has the best grub in the NEAJBHL.
Yeah, no filter here. We're not going to be doing any fancy plating. We're just two guys armed with plastic forks and a healthy dose of honesty.
Let's dive in. It's a Concession Confessions on the Junior B Breakdown.
All right, here we are with our new segment. Dwayne, we're going to talk about the Friday night trip in the Lloydminster barn. I should have brought my sunglasses.
Yeah.
That Jumbotron.
I got home and was a little sunburned from the radiation from that large screen they have in there. But hey, I can't complain. It's a great arena.
I think maybe some Bandits themed sunscreen or something like that, or Bandit brand sunscreen might be appropriate here in the next time we head out.
Yeah, it'll be a great ad in the concession there if people want to buy that.
So, yeah, why don't we start with your order at the concession? Maybe, just give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so, I dabbled in a little burger tasting down at the Cenovus Energy Hub.
All right, tell me about your trip to the concession stand.
Yeah, no, I thought I'd grab a burger. I was down there. I'm the burger guy. You're the cheese curdy type of guy. So dabbled in. First thing I did, said, hey, can I get myself a bacon cheeseburger? The gentleman behind the counter said, we don't have bacon, sir. So I ended up with just a cheeseburger. Opened up the bag, looked really nice, good bun, looked like good char on the burger. But probably the only thing I should have kept eating was the bun.
Yeah, it looked like a nice bun. Tell me more about your buns there, Dwayne. Give us some sort of rating. Describe, what type of cheese. That's important for me here.
Okay, so I'm going to go, the cheese was just your standard, sliced cheese. We're actually going to give the overall burger, like the presentation, it looked well.
Mm-hmm.
But
it did.
The burger itself and the cheese, lacked a little bit of luster, I'm going to say. But overall, the burger out of Lloydminster, I'm going to go with a 3 out of 5.
Fair enough.
Buns on that one.
Passable. Yeah. The concession also, I ordered a poutine, and I got a picture of it. I'll post it up on the pod here for those of you that are still with YouTube. Also checks out on Spotify.
So crinkle cuts, straight fries. What
they were straight fries, but they had that little bit of a coating on them. So that's that was a good thing. So and they were crispy. They were golden. I'd probably give them 4 out of 4 for the actual fry quality itself. The base, you need that great base. So yeah 4 out of 4. Next, if we're talking curd integrity, they asked if I wanted cheese curds. And I said, of course.
So there was an option?
Yeah, so there was an option. And so I know that's in like an Alberta thing where some people do other types of cheese, which
old
is
Shreddo cheese.
Yeah, it should be illegal. I know it's illegal in Quebec, but yeah. So I insisted, and I got cheese curds.
Squeak factor on those?
Squeak factor was decent, probably a little higher because the temperature of the cheese curds, they're quite cool.
Yes.
Also, probably could have had a little bit more. Like I would have paid another couple bucks to have some more cheese curds. And I couldn't verify the origin of the cheese curds. I didn't know if they were genuine Quebec curds. So
Yeah, no, it's a tough one in the middle of Alberta to find authentic cheese curds.
yeah, so I would give it 3 out of 4 for the cheese curds.
And the pizzazz de resistance.
Yeah.
The thing that brings it all together.
The gravy game. Now, the gravy game was okay, and that's all I can say. It was not something that you'd start with after you had a Sunday roast, and then you'd get all the drippings and make like a real beef gravy. It was clearly, some sort of packaged, gravy, and it was the texture, and it wasn't lumpy or anything like that, but just didn't have that pow. And so
Did not seal the curds to the fries like a traditional.
yeah. And I tried to let the gravy melt the curds, but I think because the gravy wasn't hot enough and the curds were cold, that combination just didn't work. They didn't do their job to melt the cheese curds. So
Nice. So ultimately, what are you gonna throw for a rating on this poutine?
yeah, if you consider fry quality, curd integrity, the gravy game. Also, I felt like they should have used a smaller container because it just looked like small, even though it was probably a lot of food. It looked
it looked like one of my old Star Dish satellites.
yeah, it's just like that. So then overall presentation was probably, it looked great, but then the gravy was only probably a 2. So I don't know if you I'm going to say out of 10, I'm going to say 6 out of 10.
Okay.
So overall, we're still looking for people that don't know. We're still looking for the Golden Gravy Ladle Award, and we're just going to continue on, and we'll try to find it. That's where you score top marks in all categories. So
No, sounds good. So looks like we gotta, make another road trip, or even I think maybe this weekend we're gonna be back in the Cold Lake Energy Center. We might have to tangle with some game day grill.
I know there's a game day grill poutine special. There's an ice special.
And I think it's dill pickle.
Dill pickle
You get
themed.
some
So
dill pickle sauce. You get
I
actual
heard
dill pickle spears. So
the
it's
legend of
something
it.
I might have to hold you back on, but hey, there's not enough security to hold you back. From
It's
a
for
good poutine.
science. We're doing it for science. So, all right. Well, Dwayne, thanks for joining me for Concession Confessions. And let's move on to our Around the League session.
You betcha. We'll see you in a bit.
It's everybody's favorite segment, Around the League. Dwayne, get us started.
So we're gonna start down the old Vague Recreation Center on I guess it'll be Friday the 17th, where Killam was in town. Actually, a fairly even game throughout the whole thing. Nobody really outshot anybody. Penalty minutes, within 2 of each other. Still, mid-20s for penalty minutes, but. The Vegreville Rangers started the scoring in the first, but then Killam went out to a 3-1 lead after the first period. Ethan Allen, not only a great furniture company back in the probably mid-'80s, but Ethan Allen himself potting 2 goals in that first period. Killam continued on in the second period with adding not only a 4th, but it looks like a 5th, and... going into that third period, kind of sealing the deal there. Ethan Allen gets his 3rd goal of the game. Actually ended up with 4 points over the night. So out of this game, Ethan Allen is probably going to be my warrior of the game, or standout. But it looks like, a little shakeup in the Vegreville Rangers organization over the last. So heard we got a new coach we'll have to catch up with, and it looks like Veg maybe turning it around and putting some points on the game.
Okay, game 2 continuing on Friday, October 17th, Vermilion Stadium. Got to get out there. Coach Danny's invited us. We'll come down sometime soon, Danny. Vermilion Tigers with a 7-4 win over St. Paul. Looks like we had a great start by Rogan McNabb for Vermilion, who got a power play goal. And then Quinn Spock and Riley Humby, assisted by Quinn. I'm going to have to talk to Coach. Those guys got to be on the same line because they keep going. So anyway, so they got a couple, and looks like St. Paul was taking control. And then in the second, it was all Vermilion. Cash Kapchak got a couple, along with Kade, Michael John, and Ian Cook. And Riley again with a pass from Quinn and Liam Boyko. And then in the third, we got the Vermilion Tigers just putting things away with a couple more goals by Kade, Michael John. So that's the Hattie for him. So great job, Kade. Also wanted to give a shout out to Riley, who had a multi-point game for the St. Paul Canadiens, and also Quinn Spock, who had 4 points. So great job. Even though it was a tough loss, it looks like St. Paul was in it to win it, and Vermilion was just too strong. So, and also goalie Aiden Fox there got the night off, and Ryan Stowe got the W with 31 saves. So let's move on.
Okay, game 3 of the evening has us over in Lloydminster. A brand new barn there. Beautiful brand new arena. A little weird. Black seats in there. As soon as that puck gets in the air, you kind of lose it. But other than that, if you kind of put a new facelift on the Cold Lake Energy Center about 15 years, you think that's where you were. But no, a nice facility. Can't wait to catch another game down there. But Cold Lake Ice were in town. Another well-matched game. Score doesn't show that. It shows that the Lloydminster Bandits took that game to 5-2 over Cold Lake. Scoring. So it looks like Cold Lake started the scoring with Jackson Schreier. Actually, really early again. It kind of seems like the MO of the Cold Lake Ice to get that first goal within those first 2 minutes of the game. Looks like Lloyd put 3 more past Mark Peddle there before the end of the third, but close to the end of the first period there, Sam Sawchuk put a goal in. So going into the intermission there, it was a 3-2 lead for the Lloyd Bandits, where Aiden Martins in the second period potted the only goal there, and Bugera.
Yeah,
I think we've heard a couple different versions when we had the
Bugera,
but the nickname Bugs is what we hear. He potted a goal early in the third period, putting the Lloyd Bandits kind of in cruise control and winning that game 5-2. But being in that barn, like I said, it was just a couple bad bounces for the Ice that I think sealed it for Lloyd. If they could take those 2 or 3 bounces back, it could have been a 1-goal game. Both teams played really well. Both went 0-3 on the power play with only 3 penalties throughout the game. Shots on net, 35 for the Ice and 36 for the Bandits. So, a well-matched game, just the score doesn't show that. So with that being said, we're going to move on to Saturday night.
Saturday night kicked off with our hometown Cold Lake Ice. We were actually able to attend this game. Had some great seats. Killam Wheat Kings were in town, and we were looking for interviews with the Killam Wheat Kings with coach and also with maybe a player, but 50 minutes before puck drop, the bus gets there. And so they're in a bit of a rush, and they were in a rush getting out of that barn. So final score was 6-3. Basically, Killam got started with let's back up. Coach Scott was definitely, and you can help me out with this, Coach Scott was definitely sending a message to the boys with his starting lineup.
Yeah. I think if I remember right, There was 4 out of 5 were rookies.
Yeah, so those rookies that on Friday night were, putting in a lot of work, they started and they set the tone for the game. Tanner Quinton got the scoring going, and for Killam, but then right away you can just see the presence and the experience of Josh Butt. He was throwing his weight around. He was doing a great job. He scored a great goal, and then we get a couple more from Killam, and then Jackson Schreier gets a goal to wrap up the first. Wow. Furniture salesman Ethan Allen here. It's not going to get old yet, but Ethan, our apologies. Got the Killam going in the second, and then looks like Brady Parcoma or Parcoma.
Yeah, Parcoma we'll go with.
Yeah, and then that was kind of the TSN turning point. I don't know if we can say that, but
the Northeast Junior B
NEAJBHL breakdown turning point.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was pretty much all Killam until the very end of the third, where Carter Breen, captain's just saying, "Okay, enough's enough, boys," trying to get the guys fired up. It was too little, too late at that point, but Breener was definitely working hard trying to make sure that his boys kept going. So, yeah, not a lot of penalties in the first and second. In the third, it was getting spicy. But again, we had like Andrew Gresla and Cody Pickowitz and some of these rookies that were going into corners, and they did a great job.
Stepping up. I think they actually started a bit of a little scrum there halfway through that kind of did actually spark. You could see a bit more liveliness come on to the Cold Lake ice after that little tilly between those two. Yeah,
and multi-point games for Cook and Butt for the ice, and then multi-point games for just a whole bunch of the Killam Wheat Kings. Good for them. Yeah, and I'm sure Scott's going to make in this next week after that game. I'm sure this week before their game on Saturday, he's having some tough conversations with the boys, and let's get fired up here.
Okay, and second game of the evening has us going down to the Clancy Richard there, where the Vegreville Rangers were in town to face the hometown Canadian. It looks like Mr. LaRoche started off the scoring in the first period, and that was about it for then. The Vegreville Rangers tied things back up in the second period, where again, when Quinn Spock pots another one, I'm pretty sure that he's creeping up on the old scoring race there. We'll keep an eye on that. And again, going into the third period, Mr. LaRoche pots his second, with Quentin Spack getting his second as well. Vegreville tried to put a couple goals in, kept it close at a 3-2, and that's when Spock and then Flett potted 2 for the St. Paul Canadians. Close to the end of the game, less than a minute, and Mr. Latiner for Vegreville potted 1, so to close that deficit near the end, but still allowing St. Paul to kind of break that or get that proverbial monkey off their back. It was their first win in either our 3 or 4 games, so they were looking forward to that one. So coming to that game might have some momentum coming into this weekend coming up, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, just a random name here there on Gage Latimer's. The second assist goes to Trey Calliew. Yeah, there we go. We know him quite well, so hope things are going well in Vig for you there, Trey. All right, we're moving on. Final game of the night on October 18th, Wainwright Bisons at the Provost Regional Activity Center. They need a few more names in that barn to describe it. We're hosting the Tigers. Wainwright got 100 things going. It was with a goal in the first. Riker Singer has a quiet second period, no scoring. And then Wainwright gets Tanner Warenka gets things going. And yeah, Kade Michael John responds, and Lucas McLennan Pots won for the Bisons for the 3-1 win. This is definitely two teams that we're going to keep watching for the season. This also tells us that at 3-1, this is anybody's game when these two teams match up, and a couple of the top teams in the league, and not too many penalties. A few in the third, but it was a very competitive game between the two teams.
Looks like the last game of the weekend there has Wainwright hosting the Lloyd Bandits. So you've got two teams that are moving in the right direction. You got the Bisons coming off a couple wins, working their way out of the basement, and actually, working themselves up into, third place in the league. And then you got the Lloyd Bandits, had that perfect season going there after that win on Friday against the Ice, and they roll into Wainwright to face the Bisons on Sunday. A little earlier game, a 5:30 game, but looking at the scoring line here, I think the thing that did it for the Bisons was them staying out of the penalty box and allowing the Bandits maybe their emotions to get to them and actually have almost a parade to the penalty box. You look at that third period there, wow. That's where everything kind of took off, right? And that just allowed Wainwright to pot power play goals. So, first period, no scoring, pretty even, right? Then things got loose where Wainwright scored one goal by Tanner Warwanka, the second goal by Braden Arkin, and then Riker Singer again, getting another goal, getting some more points up there. That's his sixth of the season, taking Wainwright out to a 3-0 lead where Jaden Plamondon finally put one past the goalie about the 11th minute mark of the second, to cut that lead to a 3-1 going into the third, where it was all Wainwright after that. You got Brandon Glover potting his second. You got Lucas McLennan, getting his fifth. And again, Tanner Warwanka getting another point there, leading to that 6-1 victory for the Wainwright Bisons. Probably very solemn ride home there for Lloyd. Taking that first defeat, like I said, we were able to go down to Lloyd, watch them on Friday, and they were a fun team to watch. Many of the coaches have said this year is this: if you don't come to play, it's anybody's game on any given night. And I think over this weekend, Chet, I think we saw that with the different teams coming into the barns, whether it was bust legs or just not feeling it. I'm not sure if you want to comment much on it, but if you don't come to play in this league, you're going to get rolled.
Yeah, and after we had talked to Kade Dennett, we saw him in the third, just looking at the penalties. Kade and Jace looks like, and Bronson looks like they were trying to get the team fired up, being a little bit more physical, and that's sometimes a great move by a veteran player such as Kade. But I think 7 out of 10 penalties in the third period were against Lloydminster, so that didn't really help the cause. I know they were trying to find that spark, but it didn't turn out, and it was a 6-1 win. But I know Lloydminster is going to go back and hit practice and be ready for the next time that they play or host Wainwright.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just looking, we'll kind of just clean up kind of what the standings were after that weekend. You got the Vermilion Tigers there remaining on top with 14 points, followed closely by the Bandits there at 6-1, and the Bisons, who have made a charge over the weekend, tying them for second with 12 points. You got the Cold Lake Ice sitting at 10 points, sitting in fourth, with the Wheat Kings hot on their heels, and like I said, the Canadians and the Rangers, they're we're only 6-7 games in, but they're starting to come on. So those are teams that you're going to watch to bump up in the standings, and it's that race in the top four. It's if you don't come to play, like mentioned, you're going to get beat on any night, and it showed over this weekend that again, you come with lazy legs, you're going to walk away with an L.
For sure. And don't forget the Bandits and the Canadiens have a game in hand, so that'll be coming up, and that could certainly Bandits will be looking to increase their standings there and try and get up on the Tigers. Yeah, for sure the top three is the tight one, and then even not to discount our hometown ice. They are very capable of playing with the top teams in the league right now. And once they get that switch going, then, anybody's game, and they'll be hoping to climb the standings as well.
All right, continue on after that. Talking about the standings there, let's go with the goalie leaders for this week and kind of where we're sitting with that. Of course, we've talked lots about Aiden Fox and how the season he's having. He's, save percentage of .967, followed by Mr. Jenner from
Lachlan.
With a 961. And not far behind him is Zerbeck from Wainwright as well. So, there's quite a few goalies that are right in there that, 950 area there. It's showing that that's kind of where you want to be if you're going to reel off a couple wins. Chet, what about the scoring lead?
Yeah, so last week we talked about how all the scoring leaders were from the Vermilion Tigers, and we've had a bit of change, but not at the top. Kade Michael John there, still on fire with 16 points so far. Tigers, Davidson is 13, and Toutant, he's got 13, but then there's Quinn Spock from the Canadiens, who's got 12 points, and then Wainwright's Singer has got 12 points as well. So it's kind of nice to see some other names in the top 5 there, but also just looking at how some of those players from Vermilion are dominating so far in the early stages of the season. Still lots of hockey to go, though.
Yeah, we're just, like I said, we're just not even a quarter. Well, I'd say just about quarter of the way through the season here. We're going to be getting into some tough matches and some long games here as we get further in the season.
Well, that wraps up our Lloydminster road trip. It was a great game. We had some great conversations in the vehicle. Huge thanks to Coach Josh and Assistant Captain Kade Dennett for joining us, and to the Bandits organization for the warm welcome at the Energy Hub.
Next week, we're back at home breaking down more NEAJBHL action and probably another round of snacks.
Until then, keep your sticks in the ice and your fries crispy.
Thanks for listening. And now you have the breakdown.